In this next series of videos, I'm going to be talking to you about plumbing networks. Plumbing networks consist of pipes which connect plumbing fixtures and mechanical equipment. The process of putting these together and ensuring they work properly is a significant part of developing a plumbing project. Frequently, fire protection is included in the plumbing design. Fire protection networks include wet and dry sprinklers with the associated piping, and we'll touch more on that in a later chapter. So let's start off with adding plumbing fixtures and equipment. When you start to create plumbing systems in a project, you typically start by adding plumbing fixtures and sometimes mechanical equipment, and then network them together using pipes. In this example here, we've got some plumbing fixtures such as these sinks here, some basins in the toilet and some toilets there, and then we've got mechanical equipment, which is the likes of this hot water heater over here. As you can see with the mechanical equipment for the plumbing, these include water heaters, it can include pumps and water filters. And the mechanical equipment families are set up through properties and have connectors, as we can see here: in, out, electrical, drainage, etc. Depending on the component, mechanical equipment can be placed in plan, elevation and 3D views. Now, to place mechanical equipment, all we need to do is make sure that on the view that we're in, that we want to work with, that we've got the Systems tab associated up here clicked, and then we click on Mechanical Equipment. Don't forget you can use the keyboard shortcut at any time. Now, this is the first one that pops up based on the previous time this file was open, so you'll get this particular item show up here. If you want to change the item that you wish to position, you just need to change the type, and then you can scroll through what's previously loaded into the project. You also have options that pop up with the item you've got, such as rotate after placement, or depending on the equipment there could be other options that are there as well. Your normal properties apply for the equipment that you're doing, such as the level that you wish to place it on, and also the height that it needs to be located. In other words, if we leave these at these settings, this will be placed at level 1, which is what we're in, and it will also be placed at the ground level, which is correct. We don't want it floating above anything. If these are greyed out, then it's quite possibly a face-based item. Now, if you find that the item that you wish to position is not loaded in, all you need to do is go up to here. As you can see, we've still got this one sort of half selected, and it's given us the option that we can either tag it, which means that we can label it when we place it. It's currently ticked off at the moment, which means no label will apply. We'll talk more about labels and tags later on in a different chapter. But getting back to what I was saying, if we don't find what we want in the list that we've got here in the properties, we'd need to load one in. So if we click on Load Family, it should automatically take us to the Australia library. And then now, don't forget, this is mechanical equipment, even though we're talking about plumbing. So what we need to do is we need to go down through to the mechanical folder and the MEP, because these are the fixtures and details that will have the connections on for MEP use. And then we've got a list here, such as this one, water side components. And then you've got a list of boilers, chillers, cooling towers, etc., etc. And then we just go through and choose any of the ones that we wish to choose and load in. Right, so that's the mechanical equipment. Now let's look at the plumbing fixtures. Plumbing fixtures can be located again in the Systems tab, but over here under the plumbing section, and these are the plumbing fixtures. Now these include water closets, in other words known as toilets, sinks, lavatories, otherwise known as basins, bathtubs, drains, drinks fountains, and many more. Depending on the type of fixture, there are connectors for sanitary and domestic hot and cold water pipes. And also, don't forget, plumbing fixtures can also be copy monitored into projects from linked architectural files. Now what we mean by this is the architect might already have a selection of sanitary that he wishes to use, and also the locations that he wishes to have them positioned. So rather than us load in every single one and place them over the top, we can copy monitor, which means that if we're going to use his fixtures, then we can just do a direct copy into our project and nothing more. But we can also batch copy them, whereas we can, if we go to collaborate, coordination settings, choose the architect background, and then go on to plumbing fixtures and type mapping. So these are the items that are currently in the architecture model, and then we can tell it that if every time the architect has this one, we wish to change it and put a different one in. So this is the tool where we copy everything that he's got and also monitor it, but we're going to choose our own selection of equipment to replace what the architect's got, but it will be in the same location. We'll touch on this more in a later video. So the same thing applies for plumbing fixtures as with mechanical equipment in terms of placing them. So we can click on the item, choose what it is that we wish to have, and then we can go along and position it in. Again, if we've got an item that we wish to place that isn't in our library, not in here, we can just go to load library. But now what we need to do is in here we need to go to plumbing, MEP, fixtures, and now we've got the water closets, urinals, showers, lavatories, drinks fountains, bathtubs, appliances, etc. Now, once you've hosted an item, such as you've got this toilet and it's in place, this symbol here, by the way, is just that this one has already been copy monitored. Say we suddenly realise that it is in the wrong place and we wish to relocate it. Well, all we need to do is select the item and click on Pick New, and then we can go along and position it to the new location. If you're wondering what this greyed out item is, this is just the architect's location of that toilet there. The darker one is ours that we've copy monitored. So we've just relocated it to the new wall here. We can switch the architect's features off.